I'll give you a thumbs up when it's ready, Rod. It's just loading now. There you go.
All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's call to discuss some exciting announcements, funding through the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Fund. My name is Rod Beauvais, the CIO for the City of Belleville, and I'm happy to welcome you all this morning. I have MP Neil Ellis with us, MPP Todd Smith, and Mayor Panchuk, along with Councillor Bill Sanderson from the City of Belleville, who's chair of the city's transit committee. So without further ado, I'll introduce Neil Ellis to provide some comments on behalf of Federal Infrastructure Minister Catherine McKenna. Neil?
Thank you, Rod, and a special thank you to all my colleagues, MPP Todd Smith, Mayor Mitch Panchuk, and all members of council that have joined us today. Good morning to all our viewers. These are unprecedented times. Canadians and people around the world have been impacted by COVID-19. While the situation is still evolving, all orders of government in Canada are now taking decisive action now. That's why I'm so excited for today's announcement. Through joint federal, provincial, and municipal fundings, we're announcing today support for 2 projects that will improve Belleville's public transit system. I am proud to announce the Government of Canada investing over $1.3 million in the expansion of Belleville's active transportation system and another $1.3 million for the purchase of 4 new city buses. These investments are being made through the Public Transit Infrastructure and Stream of Investing in Canada Infrastructure Plan. The first project will expand Belleville's public transit and active transportation infrastructure in Northeast Industrial Park, construction of 3 kilometers of new sidewalk, a new multi-use path will offer residents direct access to the public transit system, encourage them to stay active while also reducing greenhouse gas emissions. New fully accessible bus stops and shelters will help meet the growing needs of the city transit users. The second project will see the purchase of 4 new city buses, which will be added to the existing bus fleet. These new buses will increase Belleville's service levels on the main roads and expand service to the far corners of the city. Together, these investments will make support a healthy environment while helping Belleville residents get to work, school, and essential services. They will also create immediate and long-term jobs and promote economic growth at a time when our country needs it most. The Government of Canada is working closely with municipalities, partners, and stakeholders to get projects built quickly, especially in these trying times. Through our historic Investing in Canada plan, we are delivering on our promise to build sustainable, resilient communities here in Ontario. We have invested over $7.5 billion through our infrastructure plan towards more than 2,400 projects across the province. This is crucial to our country and our community's recovery as we move forward and build our future. Together, we will improve the well-being of all Canadians. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Ellis. I'd now like to call on MPP Todd Smith, representing the Government of Ontario, and Infrastructure Minister Laurie Scott. Todd?
Thanks, Rod. It's good to see you, and it's good to see Neil again, and Mayor Panchuk and Councillor Sanderson as well, and others who are on the line as we announce we're moving forward with improving public transit infrastructure in Belleville. Last summer around this time, I joined a number of you to announce that the Ontario government was nominating these 2 projects to the federal government under the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, or ICIP. And today, here we are together once again. We're celebrating the approval of these 2 projects that will enhance Belleville's transit system and improve the quality of life for the residents of the city of Belleville. Ontario's investment of $2.2 million, along with significant contributions from our partners, means that residents will see increased bus services that will connect them to school and work, healthcare, shopping, and spending time with loved ones. Belleville's seen rapid improvements to infrastructure in its Northeast Industrial Park, which has sustained 15,000 good jobs in that area. And with a planned expansion that's underway actually at Procter & Gamble, and they're busy making PPE, which is so important right here in Belleville too, where we've also seen the cutting edge research, and they're on the brink of moving ahead at Trust Beverages and numerous other projects. This part of the city continues to grow, which is great news. With 4 new buses and upgraded shelters in the area of Adams Street, University Avenue, Jameson Bone Road, and College Street East, Public transit won't only bring people to and from work, it provides links to the Quinte Health and Wellness Center, a new multi-use trails network, St. Teresa Secondary School, the regional dialysis clinic, and a host of other businesses. We're moving forward with investing in what matters most to communities so that residents can get to work, to the hospital, to a restaurant, and back home safely and on time. And I'm proud to be a part of a government that made a commitment to invest more than $7.3 billion in transit infrastructure over 10 years through the ISIP program. Not only are we improving public transit, we're building roads and bridges, also to come recreational facilities, cultural centers, and water infrastructure. And I want to thank the City of Belleville and the federal government for their significant investments in these projects. Today's announcement with our partners is one of many that will follow to strengthen our communities, provide more reliable infrastructure, and create new jobs right across Belleville and across Ontario. And I look forward to continuing to work together so that the residents, our businesses, and our children can thrive well into the future. Thanks very much.
Great, thank you, MPP Smith. I'd now like to call on Mayor Panchuk, Mayor of the City of Belleville, for some comments.
Well, thank you very much, both to our colleagues, Neil Ellis, our federal member of parliament for the Bay of Quinte, but also Todd Smith, our MPP for Bay of Quinte riding, and Daryl Cramp, who's our MPP for Hastings, Lennox, and Addington. I also want to thank Councillor Sanderson, who is on the call this morning. He's chair of the Transit Committee, and they were instrumental in putting together a proposal that both the federal and provincial governments could say yes to. And sometimes when you make applications, that is the hardest part, is getting it so that people can say yes. So I want to say thank you. Very quickly, I just wanted to describe a little bit about what this money will help us with. The federal government has contributed $2.65 million, broken down to be $1.32 million for the Northeast Industrial Park Active Transportation and Transit Shelter project, but also $1.332 million towards buses. And the provincial contribution is $2.2 million, broken down to be just a hair underneath $1.1 million for the Northeast Industrial Park and $1.11 million towards those new bus purchases. The bus purchases are very important because this is the first time in 10 years. The last time we purchased buses, Neil Ellis was the mayor of the City of Belleville. And so thank you, Neil. You helped to identify the process, and now you're helping on the back end with funding it. So it is very important. And these new buses are not only necessary because of the amount of use that we're getting, but also because of the new services they will provide. So we get the latest safety technology, including a CONSAT system that provides real-time vehicle information and computer-aided dispatch. It has a camera system for security, both inside and outside the bus. We have driver barriers to assist our drivers with social distancing, as well as the latest passenger seat materials, which allows for easy cleaning and now the proper sanitization of these buses. So because we've received this funding, we placed our order on May the 7th of 2020, and we're expecting that those buses will be under assembly in January 2021, and that we will have them in our possession in March or April of next year. So I want to thank very much the federal and provincial governments for helping us with our transit system. In terms of the Northeast Industrial Park, this is also a really exciting project. And as Neil mentioned, we're going to have installation of sidewalks and multi-use trails, but also there are going to be 20 improved transit stops, and they will be upgraded to full accessibility compliance. And all 20 of those stops will be equipped with a transit shelter to make it easier for employees in particular going to and from work. Those shelters will also have off-grid solar-powered lighting and benches for passenger comfort. And so this has been a really important project for our employers in the industrial park. Again, I know that MP Ellis, when he was mayor, was dealing with these concerns about ensuring that our workforce is available, and MPP Smith mentioned that we have 15,000 people working in our Northeast Industrial Park, so it's very, very important. Having a safe, accessible stop with a shelter to get out of the elements while waiting for the bus is going to be very important and will make using transit easier. So we awarded the tenders for that project at our June 8th meeting. Work is already starting, and we expect that it'll be completed in 2 phases for the summer of 2021. The last thing I just want to say again, and I said this last week on the call with Quinny West, but you know, in early 2019, I had personal meetings with all of our elected officials, including Neil Ellis and MPP Todd Smith and Daryl Cramp. And at that time, I put forth the case about how Belleville needs the assistance of the federal and provincial governments for us to handle our infrastructure needs. And today, once again, you've delivered. And so MP Neil Ellis, I always know that you have the concerns of Belleville first and foremost in your heart. Same thing with MPP Todd Smith and Daryl Cramp. We want to say thank you for this funding and allowing us to proceed with these projects. You're muted, Rod.
Great. Apologies there. Thank you, Your Worship. I'd now like to call on media members who are present to come forward with any questions that they have of any of today's participants.
So if the media wants to unmute their microphone, and then they could ask a question if they want. Go ahead, Bill.
Good morning, gentlemen. I don't know, Mr. Mayor, if it's for you or for Councillor Sanderson, but just wanted to ask about the Northeast Industrial Park development. I know there's some issues with a use trail up there and the rail lines, and have all those things been taken care of? Is this ready to go immediately now that we have the funding in place, or is there still some work in progress to get the plans down?
Bill, do you want to comment on that? I know the answer, but I'll let you as chair of the transit committee if you'd like to go ahead.
So thank you, Mayor. The only outstanding issue, I think, and Rod can weigh in here, is negotiations with the railway, just to allow us to see that through, the accessible portion.
And I would say that we are good to go. That's why we've got this funding announcement, and we will start to work on that in July, Bill. So those issues have been resolved. Neil and Todd, I don't know if you want to add anything to that. Okay.
All right, any other questions? Tim Meeks, I see you on the line. Any questions, Tim?
You have solved all my issues.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. There's a lot of them.
Did record that.
The list is long.
I know that Quinny Broadcasting is on the call. Anyone from Quinny Broadcasting with any questions? No. Okay.
Sorry, Rod, if I could jump in again.
Oh, go ahead, Bill.
I don't know if this was mentioned and I just missed it, but I have a timeline on when we will expect to see the buses arriving in town. And also a clarification, will this be expanding the routes, or will these just be replacement buses?
So I'll answer the first part of it. And the timeline for the purchase of buses is that we issued the order on May the 7th of this year. They will go into production in January of 2021, and they will be delivered to Belleville in March and April of 2021. And these buses are desperately needed to replace buses on our existing fleet. And as we refurbish them, we are looking to expanding our routes. But immediately right now, the biggest pressing issue.
Yeah, so Bill, I would weigh in as well on that. So initially the intent was to position us for both the expansion into Ward 2 as well as regional expansion. And as the mayor said, the aging fleet that we have, we are probably going to have to use at least 2 of those new buses just to bolster the existing service that we provide. But we are looking, in conjunction with delivery of those buses, to expand into Ward 2 initially. So that'll be sort of a bit of a trigger point for us, and the committee is working through how we would best make that happen.
All right, thanks, Councillor Sanderson. Any other questions from the media? All right, hearing none, I will remind the media that a full press release is coming out, and there are media contacts included in that if you do have any further questions. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone for attending this morning's announcement, and wish you all a great day.
All right,
Thank
just before you turn off, Neil, anything else you want to say before we sign off?
I just want to, again, and you had it in your words, Mitch, it's about staff and it's about council, and I'm glad that they applied for the application process, and sometimes they're sticky. So kudos to the Transit Commission or Transit Committee. Transit Commission when Jack Miller was on it, I think, back in the old days, right? But no, just a note. And again, this money is going to be well spent and well needed. And I know, I think a year or so ago, you passed a million passengers, I think, Bill, and I think you're still there and is growing. So that's noted that people are using transit in Belleville. It's an important connection, not only in the industrial park, but to Loyalist College, and those numbers seem to be up too. So kudos for having a full transit system. I'm glad that councils back in, I believe, the 40s or 50s started our transit system, and transits and councils today are still investing in it. So thank you, everybody, for attending today, and a happy Canada Day early for everyone.
Todd, any closing comments?
Yeah, just to say thank you to the city for their leadership in putting these applications forward. So you've got people like Rod and the great staff at the city of Belleville on the line that do so much work in making sure that they're planning for these projects. There's a lot of great work going on in the city of Belleville right now. You take a drive around and you can see the Saganaska Bridge and the work that's being done there from the Connecting Links funding. And then you go up to Bell Boulevard and the widening that's happening there thanks to the ISIP program, and there's just so many good things happening right across the city, and it's great to have a partner like Neil Ellis and the federal government for these ISIP programs. These are covered in one of the streams. I know there are still a couple of other streams out there that are yet to be announced, the green stream and the community stream as well. And I look forward to having a couple more announcements like this with Neil in the near future. And hopefully we can do them in person to make sure that we're continuing to make Belleville the great city that it is. So thanks to everybody on the line, and thanks to all of our partners on this.
Thanks, Todd. Bill, Councillor Sanderson, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Just to echo the comments that have gone around, it's great to see what we can do together, and certainly our thanks to all.
Well, great. And then on my final comments is that Belleville is a growing city, and these investments are crucial to help us continue that growth. It's nice to be able to see the work of previous councils, including the one that Mayor Ellis headed when he was mayor of the city of Belleville. See the work that they did originally now come to fruition. And we don't do things today just by ourselves. We do it because of the work of others. But I can tell the media and anyone watching that Todd Smith and Neil Ellis are very active partners, and they are helping us move forward. And I too want to say, on behalf of the city of Belleville, thank you very much for that support, this funding. And happy Canada Day to everyone as well.
All right, thank you, Worship. If there's nothing else, then we will officially end the call.
Okay, thanks
everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.